Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to all of you to this episode. You saw the title. We're talking about Trap.
Woo.
Hey! And let's just get it out of the way. I don't know if that's been bothering you, but it has me. Are traps gay? Are not a part of this.
What?
Move on from that. It's an old internet joke. It was just that's the only thing I've been thinking of since I saw the title of this movie. The traps question. Traps, in my opinion, are gay.
Traps, as in the devices to trap people.
No, okay. I don't even. Maybe it's not really a thing anymore. I don't know, but it was.
I don't think I was on the internet when that happened.
Traps are like feminine guys who trick straight guys into having sex with them. They're not.
They're called traps.
They were. I don't know. It's kind of. I guess it's kind of homophobic or transphobic. But they weren't. They weren't trans people. They were just very effeminate
feminine presenting
gay guys. Yeah.
Well, that was awkward.
Yes, it was.
Whatever. That has nothing to do with this movie.
Nothing to do with this, but it has been plaguing me ever since I saw the name of this movie. It's like, you're gonna call it Trap? But no one else seems to have mentioned it. So anyway, sorry. Now we're gonna talk about the movie.
Yes, the movie where the trap is alluding to trapping someone in a. Well, that's I guess what they do.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie that
yes,
I get. It's kind of a meme, but surprisingly doesn't have a twist.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was his whole thing.
I
for a
kept
while,
waiting for the twist.
Everyone was always, oh, what's the twist? What's the twist? Just because his early movie, well, his first big movie we've talked about is Sixth Sense, of course. It all built to that huge reveal in the end.
Yeah. And
it's 25 years old, so at this point it's not a spoiler, when
I think we've already spoiled it when we talked about it.
Bruce Willis.
Also when we talked about The Watchers.
Yeah.
Watchers?
The Watchers.
The Watchers.
Bruce Willis turns out to be a ghost the entire time. Oh!
Oh my god. Yeah.
And then he followed that up with Unbreakable, where it turns out in the end, the wise old man played by Samuel L. Jackson turned out to be the antagonist of the movie. Oh,
right. Big twist.
Yeah, but honestly, those are the and The Village, of course. Jesus Christ, we're talking about a big twist.
If you want to hear more about us talking about those movies with the twists, check out the Patreon episode where we talk about the Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. I cannot say that.
And I think we've talked about him before that even.
Yeah, probably.
And I know way back in the day, when I had the Please Don't Livestream show, we did a ranking of his movies, the movies that were out then. Anyway.
Yeah. Anywho, now we're talking about Trap.
Yeah.
His new movie that, like you said, surprisingly didn't have a twist.
Well,
really.
that's the thing, because honestly, other than those three movies, his movies doesn't really have a twist. It feels like early on, I had a few twisty movies, but like Signs doesn't really have a twist.
No, that's true.
And
I mean, I guess the twist there is that aliens.
Yeah, but it's not really a twist.
That's not a twist.
It's
no.
what they're hinting at the entire time, and then it turns out, there were aliens, they were real.
Yeah.
And like Split doesn't really have a twist. I guess we kind of find out that the multiple people turns out to be one guy, but that's like, it's not like a big reveal. It happens like in the middle of the movie, and we kind of we get it. Like, so
it's a mini twist, I guess.
Sure. But the whole thing with him like being like the twist guy, I felt like it was overplayed very early in his career.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of put him in a position where you were always expecting things from him.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have movies like Old, where I guess there's a bit of a twist ending and stuff like that, but it's not.
Still haven't seen the ending of that one.
No. It's not as bad as people say. Yes, it's ridiculous.
I've heard that.
But,
I think you've said that even a few times. I was like, I just don't. I can't be bothered.
No, I get it. I get it. So yeah, let's just talk about Trap.
I was about to say, how about we start like we usually do, and I just ask you, what did you think of Trap?
I thought it was one of the best movies of the year. It was insanely entertaining. I don't know if you noticed, but I was laughing throughout the entire movie until the third act.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. No, I loved it. I think it found a perfect balance between like tension and like genuine comedy, like dark, genuine but dark, deeply dark, like pitch black comedy. And Josh Hartnett, probably his best performance ever. He's never been like a guy you go to for like, oh my god, amazing performances. But he's a solid actor. But this was it was a powerhouse performance from him. Once again, like just rolling with the kind of weird tone of the movie. And the further into the movie we get, the closer and closer we get to his, like literally closer and closer we get to his face, and it's just amazing to see towards the end the stuff he's doing. Is it like a masterpiece? Is it gonna like change cinema? No, it's I would call it like elevated horror, which we shouldn't use, but I love to use it. I would say this is like an elevated blockbuster, because it's not like dumb popcorn movie.
No,
it's clever enough, but it's also just entertaining. You can just sit there and like, oh my god,
Yeah,
that's what I think about it. Great fucking movie. What did you think of Trap?
I thought it was pretty good. I was having a hard time. It felt silly sometimes.
Yes.
To the point where I was like, are they doing this intentionally or are they just lazy? Like, is the writing lazy or is it intentional?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people had that problem with the movie. If you read, I haven't really watched any reviews on
no, me neither YouTube yet. I decided to skip that for once.
Yeah, but I did read some Letterboxd reviews when I was writing mine. Well, my one sentence review. And I know a lot of people had a problem with being like, it was feeling like campy, silly.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. And some people thinking that it's like, the shows, of course, because, he's a bad director, bad writer, whatever. Because some people think so. And yes, sometimes he is terrible.
Sure.
But I felt, and that's why instead of like scoffing at it, I was genuinely like laughing with it. I felt that it was intentional.
Yeah, for the most part, it felt intentional. But then there were like certain things that are just too good to be true, kind of. That I just that is lazy writing. Like I wrote down, like when we left the theater, I told you I wrote down like 2 or 3 things. Mm-hmm. And one of them is the whole. I mean, this is partially a spoiler, I guess.
All right, but try to work around it.
I'm trying to work around it. Yeah, the whole like. We know, obviously, that there's a lot of cops at the venue for this show. Yeah,
because, like we said, like, there are no, like, honestly, there's not really many big reveals that aren't already kind of spoiled in the trailer. Like, the fact that he is the serial killer and that the trap is set for him to be caught here.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what the movie's about. Trailer. Him trying to escape is the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
you're not spoiling anything by saying that. The problem I had with it is that he managed to very easily just talk his way through so many things.
Yeah.
And it just felt like even the cops, even the fucking, I don't know if they were SWAT or whatever they were, were so like forgiving with certain things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you talk to this one dude who works at the venue and then he goes to the cops like, no, he's cool, he's with me. And they're like, okay. No, that's not how it works if you're doing this kind of operation.
Yeah, I know.
Like, really?
I've worked at festivals. You've worked in putting together fucking award show. Like, security. Even
though we didn't have that kind of security, but still, it was
even
kind
on a place like that, it's tighter than that.
Yeah, like you don't just let people in.
No, and especially now that they're like there to actually catch a murderer.
Exactly.
But I mean, I've been to shows where I know people who work backstage, and like we're at capacity, but just come with me and I'll let you in. Like,
sure. But they're not trying to catch a murderer, serial killer even.
I know.
So, like, it's... no. If it had been any other, like, random event, sure.
Yeah.
I would accept it. I would have been fine with that in a movie or in real life. Like, I get it. That happens all the time. Capacity is not counting every single seat that's behind the stage or, like, behind the scenes or whatever.
Yeah.
You can always squeeze in another person somewhere.
I know.
But when you're literally... It says on the poster, like, 300 cops on site to catch one person...
Yeah.
You are checking every single one of them, especially since that's something they actually tell you that they're doing in the movie.
They're there. They're literally there to specifically do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he still manages to, like, several times, and I'm talking about during the concert, in the venue, those times, like, just talking to the guy in the merch stand or whatever. No way in hell he would be able to get backstage like that or whatever. And that bothered me too. That's not nitpicking. That's like...
I mean...
Maybe it's a little bit nitpicky.
It's a little bit nitpicky because I think if we want to be super nitpicky, I think it happens twice. It feels like more times, but it is the one time when he goes to get the shirt.
Yeah. And then whatever his name was lets him come along.
Yeah, and then it is in the end... when they get escorted out.
No, it's when the daughter gets picked for the dream girl or whatever.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's the big one for me. Because they're like 10 cops standing there and they all just go, okay. Because once he's already backstage, he's been checked. That's fine.
Yeah.
But he didn't get checked to get in backstage.
Yeah.
That's the one that's bothering me most. Because they like look at him and go, yeah, whatever. That was my big issue.
I can't really defend it other than saying like
it's
wouldn't
a movie,
have a movie
whatever.
Otherwise. Yeah.
There's
definitely liberty.
Could he just like have tricked them a little bit, or they just didn't understand that it's him or whatever? No, at least ask him one question.
Yeah, but I mean, and you could say if you wanted to that the entire movie falls apart because he shouldn't even have been let in to get the shirt in the beginning. Yeah. So the movie would have been over in 20 minutes, but I you have to do take some liberties with the premise for it to work. And
I just wanted them to ask like one or two questions at that moment when they're walking backstage, and
what
let it go.
And like what his name or
basically or something, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any tattoos? Because they mentioned the tattoo was a thing, and he would go no, and just show his wrists. Or whatever, even though he had like the wristband on, they probably, I don't know, assumed it was a bigger one so he would have seen it.
Yeah.
It's a tiny thing that they could have changed and it wouldn't have added anything to the runtime, because the runtime was perfect, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful runtime.
Yeah, it was under 100 minutes, excluding credits.
Yeah. Yeah, 145 with credits.
Yeah.
But I thought it was still... I got caught up on like that a little bit. And then I had a few other things that just felt weird. But like, I understand it. It's fine.
What I think is that... and here kind of speaks to him as a writer, Shyamalan, because he wrote this and directed. Is that I think he kind of painted himself into a corner with towards the end the FBI profiler who's there to capture him goes like, oh, at this point we have to check every male every male person before they leave.
Over
no
the
one gets
age
to leave.
of whatever.
No one gets to leave before we've checked everyone. And at that point, like, yeah, he's fucked.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing now?
But before that, they were just pulling people that fit the description. And if that was it, then he could easily escape. And I mean, since he was talking to like backstage personnel or talking to people who worked in merch and stuff like that, they would turn a blind eye to it because like, no, he's cool, he's with me. Like, because then they're like, oh, okay, he's cleared then. Because obviously they wouldn't hang out with a murderer, right? That's just how you rationalize it. Even a cop would do that. Yeah. But yeah, when they said like, oh no, everyone has to get checked. That's it. Yeah. Then if they didn't add that, then I would have, because I was also like, how is he gonna escape if they're gonna check everyone? But then he gets away anyway, which doesn't make sense because they should have checked him when he left. But because of the circumstances, they didn't. But even those circumstances shouldn't have been exempt, So
exactly.
I get that. But other than that, other than those 3 instances, I think all the times he kind of evaded capture were amazing.
No, that was fine. Yeah. That's the thing though, because of who he is and what he is, and the way he evaded the other times. I feel like you could have just written in like him saying a clever line or whatever, and that would have thrown them off.
Yeah,
because that's according to all of the other thriller and mystery and horror movies where there's murderers and they're the main character. That's what they are. They're charming and they can talk their way out of stuff.
Yeah, but that's also what I think was what he was doing here. He was very, very charming, obviously. And he managed to like act his way out of situations, talk his way out of situations. It was just that he wasn't talking to the cops. He made other people talk for him.
Yeah, that's true.
He sold it so well, being like not even a sociopath, a psychopath, just trying to act normal. It was so good. And even when it like started to get ridiculous, like when his daughter's like, "Well, you're acting weird, Dad." And he's like, because he's like getting desperate, like, "Oh, sorry." And you can almost see the flop sweat. That
was also like excusable in a way because she wouldn't notice it too much because she's very distracted. She's at her favorite artist's show, like obviously, and they have great seats. I wish concerts did that kind of thing when they have floor seats.
Well,
I'm too old to stand in the.
I've been to concerts where the floor seats are actually seats.
Yeah, I've been to one. Phil Collins.
Yeah, and when me and our mom went and saw James Blunt.
Yeah, like
so they had chairs for all the moms.
Yeah, basically. What's it called? Demography? How do you say it?
Demographic.
Demographic is, when they're a bit over middle-aged, they usually put chairs on the floor seats instead of just having...
Depends on what kind of band, though, because when I saw Aerosmith with our dad, there were no chairs.
No, but that's rock and roll.
Yeah, then you gotta stand up.
Yeah, exactly. Headbang and shit.
Anyway.
So, like, sure, she's easily distracted by all that, and she wouldn't notice too much if he's being weird. Of course, eventually she'll realize, like, Dad, you're acting kind of strange. Can you stop? Mm-hmm. But he's also, the way we see him in the beginning when he's talking to her, he is a little bit of an awkward dad. It's like trying to be cool with the kids and all that stuff. So it's fine that he's acting a bit strange at points.
No, I think he, like, in the grand scheme of things, he's, if anything, he's a good father.
Yes, definitely.
Apart
from the serial killer
part. Apart from the killing part, he's a very caring and loving father.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a big part of the movie. I'm slightly borrowing this from Man Carrying Thing, because he mentioned that in his Letterboxd, that it's kind of a commentary on the struggles of being a perfect dad in today's society, which you almost have to be sociopathic to do. To be able to
especially
to meet
if
all
you're
the
a girl
standards.
dad.
Yeah, exactly. And he manages to do it so well because she loves him like thoroughly. You can definitely tell. Yeah, and he's able to do that because he's a psychopath. he can fully commit to the part of being the perfect dad.
Even though he might obviously have some sort of real life connection to his children, hopefully.
Yes, I truly believe that as well. The way he talks about it towards the end of the movie,
his family had nothing to do with that part of his life.
No,
which is why he didn't include them in it at all, of course.
Yeah,
and he hid it from them.
Yeah, and
because his family was so separate. They were just his family.
Yes. And it wasn't just something he used as a front. It was something he was like genuinely cared for.
Yeah. It wasn't cover up. It wasn't protection. It was his other life.
Yeah, and also, we're getting a little bit into spoilers now, but we are hitting the 20-minute mark here in a second. I like that it didn't feel like his family was. Yeah, it wasn't a cover up, and it also wasn't like it wasn't a burden to him. Like he was
No.
he would happily like risk getting caught by the cops so long as his daughter was like
Happy.
Yeah, because there's a point where they have a chance to escape when the featuring artist comes out of the hatch in the floor.
Yeah.
Right next to them, they could just escape to backstage, and but fuck it, slight spoiler, I suppose. It's one line in the movie. He's like, "Hey, look, he came out of the floor over there. Why do you say we go down and explore, see where we end up?" She's like, "No, that's
weird.
crazy, and I want to see the show." He's like, "All right," but that would have been an out. He would have been gone.
Yeah. But he's prioritizing her and his normal life over potentially introducing her to his other life.
Yeah, that too.
Because she would have questioned it eventually, and she's like, "Why would we do that?"
Yeah, but also, I like that. It's so hard to explain it. Like I said, that they also didn't use him caring for his family as a way to make us care for him. Do you know?
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
no.
It wasn't
they
like
didn't try to.
like
there weren't
easy
any sympathy points with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You could understand him, but it didn't really like sway you to like cheer for him in the end.
No.
Maybe a little bit.
At all, really. For being honest.
Well, maybe a little bit, but not because of that. It was more just because he was fucking clever.
Sure.
And the way they build it up is and it's also, this is part of my interpretation, and I see that sometimes in movies, that the movie kind of, without really bringing any attention to it, it kind of makes you cheer for the antagonist without like thinking, like, wait, why am I? He's a murderer. Why am I not cheering for the cops? Yeah. And it's not like, like a movie like like a movie about like bank robbers, where obviously you're cheering for the bank robbers because they paint them as like, well, they're good, they're not good
they're doing
guys
it for the right reasons.
Yeah, and the cops are really crooked, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Here it's like, no, he's just a fucking sick murderer.
Serial killer.
Yeah. But you still like, oh fuck, he's so clever. Oh shit, oh he's gonna get away. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's the adrenaline and tension.
Yeah.
It's not that you're cheering for him, you just want the excitement.
Yes.
There's a difference, but you can't really distinguish it right then and there.
No, yeah, exactly.
It's the adrenaline. You don't know why, but it's adrenaline.
that kind of leads into why he does what he does. Which is not like he said, it's not like an adrenaline thing, but it is a way for him to like take control, and he feels like calm when he has gotten out of his system.
Accomplished almost.
Yeah, exactly.
I finished the task now, I'm done.
Yeah.
Now I can chill for a while.
Yeah. And with that, we kind of started talking a little bit more about, I wouldn't call it spoilers, but talking more about specific points in the plot. But from here on out, if you want to spoil something, we're going to spoil it. So if you don't want any spoilers, that doesn't really are many, but we might mention spoilers from here on out. So spoilers.
If you don't want specific plot points spoiled, if you want to watch it with a completely blank slate, then pause here, go watch it, and come back later.
Yeah.
Tell us what you thought.
And we'll say this, like I said, thoroughly entertaining.
You gave it a 4 out of 5, right?
So 8 out of 10. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, I think I'm like a 3.5.
Yeah, this is one of the most entertaining movies of the year, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
So, in the end, when no one dies.
No one dies.
Whoa, I can't do the joke. Damn it! In the end, when he got tasered.
When they save the guy.
Yeah, in the end, when he doesn't die. I don't even know.
You didn't know where you were going with that, really?
No, not really. Not really. Because I didn't really have anywhere to go with it since no one dies. No, but... huh?
No, I was just looking at my other points I'd written down, but they're more like random, doesn't have anything to do with the actual movie, or one of them is just a question that I don't know if I misunderstood something, or if it was like a little plot hole.
What was that?
When the wife explains how she tipped off the cops about him.
Yeah, that was kind of bad.
Because he had already... That's the thing. He had bought tickets to this extra show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the receipt she leaves at the hideout.
Yeah, exactly.
His other place.
Mm-hmm.
However, they make it sound as if they put on this extra show because they wanted to lure him there. But he already had tickets? Or am I, like,
no, that
getting
was,
things mixed up?
That's it's you getting it mixed up because, yeah, the merch guy says that this whole show is just a trap. Makes it sound like, yeah, they put on an extra show to catch him. But later on, when he talks to Lady Raven, which is the artist, she already had an extra show planned because the first one sold out, and when that was being planned, FBI contacted her and said, "We're gonna use your show to capture the butcher."
Yeah, I think they call him
something
the
butcher. Yeah, and she goes along with it.
Okay, so yeah, I just misunderstood it.
Yeah,
fine. Because I was like, that doesn't make sense. No. They can't put on an extra show when he already had tickets to the extra show.
Yeah, I know. No.
Good, okay, then that makes sense. Fine.
But
I'm good with that one then.
But what is a bit of a stretch, I think. I mean, I guess it isn't, but it's such a cosmic coincidence. It's like one of those like one of those like temporal connections, like this point in time in any timeline would always happen.
Oh yeah, this event will happen.
This is where you have this is where the universe like connects with each other. When he, because he when he talks to his wife, when she has found out the cops have been there and everything, and he's several times manages to escape. He comes back to then, I guess kill her, right? Yeah,
or at least he comes back to kill her. Yeah, because he's mad at her.
Yeah,
and she's obviously the new task he has to complete now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, and he's like. She's explaining how she found out.
Yeah, how she started suspecting him at least.
Yeah, because at first she thought he was cheating because he was always coming home late, and
bad excuses for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the fact that his clothes smelled like industrial cleaner when he came home.
Hospital cleaner.
Yeah, hospital cleaner, yeah. Which, that I gotta say, huge oversight by Mr. Anal Retentive here. Like, who the fuck commits crimes in their own clothes? Especially if you have, a dedicated place for it. And obviously, since he's butchering them, he has to put on, like Dexter,
putting on a hazmat suit, basically.
Exactly. Motherfucker, don't you change out of those clothes, put them in a locker or something, then get into
wash them on the side,
get into your protective stuff, and then commit your murders. That's basic psychopathy. Come on, bro. Anyone knows that.
But I guess because some people don't do it because they want to feel closer to the victims.
What does that do with his clothes?
Some of them even take off their clothes because they want to feel it on their skin.
So then why did he keep his clothes on?
Because maybe he just wanted to keep his normal clothes on.
Nah, that's weak.
Not all of them change out. The Night Stalker. He didn't do anything with that.
No, but he was
walked in.
He wasn't like a neat freak. Yeah, he was just insane. That's different.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
That's not psychopathic. He was just crazy. He was
I guess,
literally insane, or is. Is he alive?
Is? I don't remember.
Hold on,
Maybe he's sane now.
I don't think so. That guy is creepy for real.
Toasted. Yeah.
Richard Ramirez. No, he died 10 years ago. Yeah.
You know how I know he's dead, by the way? Because he was a ghost in a hotel.
That's true. No, that's true. Anyway,
half of my facts when it comes to serial killers come from that show.
That's true. Yeah. Best season of American Horror Story? Maybe?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Anyway, that one I was like, I get it. But it was also like,
sure.
Come on, bro. Are you really
if you're supposed to be
gonna kill him in your pullover
civilian
and
clothes.
fucking chinos? No.
No.
You're putting on your PVC leather chain shit and you're like, ah!
Yeah, or at least like in Psycho, the raincoat.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Anyway, but that's so she follows him one day to see if he's cheating.
Yes.
See him go into that house and then leave.
Yeah.
And then she goes into the house, I guess,
Yes.
to confront his lover.
No, because she. Well, yeah, to see what's in there, basically, to see if it's a love nest or whatever.
Yeah. And then she finds nothing. And
she finds a table and a chair.
Yeah, because that's not even where he kills people. That's just where he goes to, like, be calm.
Cool down after.
Yeah. Or just to
isn't
think.
that where... Isn't it in the basement he kills the people?
No, he says that.
No, that's another place.
Yeah, because he says he has several places. And he said,
right.
There's nothing even in there. Just a table and a chair. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then because there's nothing but a table and a chair, she goes, oh, that's kind of weird. Maybe he's the famous serial killer, the butcher.
Maybe, no, she goes, maybe I should have the cops investigate him because that's weirder than being a cheater.
No, because she says, like, she says it's a stupid thing, like, oh, I didn't really believe it, but I thought there might be a sliver of a chance. Like, what?
Because the cops are probably, like, always in the media going, anything that's suspicious, anything that's weird, have us check it out just in case.
But that's one of those things that then you have to put in the movie. That you, like, the movie starts with, like,
she could have mentioned, like, since the cops have gone out on the radio or whatever. Oh, yeah, we could have heard it over the radio when they were going to the show or something.
Yeah, exactly. But that is just her, like, oh, that's weird. Maybe he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's so thin. But yeah, she leaves, and
because, like, if you have suspicions of your spouse being unfaithful of any, or like just if they're acting weird in any way, the first thing you do is confront them. No.
Yeah.
Like, even though you can't find the love nest, you're gonna go like, okay, so you've been coming home late for like months now. What the fuck is going on at your work? Or like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then depending on the explanation, you might push it further or go, yeah, that was strange. I'm going to contact the cops because that doesn't sound right.
Instead, she leaves part of a receipt for the concert tickets there. And she says...
to make it look like a mistake.
Yeah. And then she says, I think the butcher, like, lives here or something. She tips the cops off. And she has to mention the butcher, otherwise why would they care?
Why would they care, yeah.
And then she says, like, because, if they caught you and it turned out it wasn't you, then it would be fine. It's like, but...
Isn't that like calling 911 and like, in like, what's it called? Like fake calling. Like, it's not a real emergency. A crying wolf, kind of. And it's...
yeah. But if
criminally offensive in America, I think.
But if it's an anonymous tip, they can't prosecute.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they can't find you. But still, like, why would your thoughts go to, I'll call the cops and say, I think I know where the butcher lives, to see if they can catch my husband, and then they will clear his name, even though his name didn't need to be cleared.
Yeah,
in the first
it's a bit of a stretch.
That's a big stretch, I think. Bigger than the cops letting him go backstage, I think.
But that, again, they could have solved it very easily by just having us hear over the radio, or like her mentioning that they thought she's heard it on TV or whatever, that the cops are asking people to like report anything that's suspicious now.
Yeah.
But we don't get that info.
No. And but that is also a problem with having a movie that more or less takes place in real time and more or less takes place in one place. We can't really have much of a backstory. Even though we managed to cram in a lot, I think, with, the psychology of why he's doing what he's doing,
Yeah, even throwing in fucking girl fights at school.
Yeah.
Which was an unnecessary part to a certain degree, and how it escalated in 2 points was certainly unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like the discussion with the mother, the friend's mom.
Yeah.
Such a weird little thing to add in.
Yes. I think...
like, I
think though that did really cement him as an actually caring father. Because even in the midst of him trying to find an escape route, and him obviously doesn't want to talk to her about it.
No.
But when the subject came up, he did. Both times she accosted him. He was like, yeah, it is really like tough on, what is her name? Riley. Like she's been like seriously hurt over this. In the middle of him trying to escape the cop, he's like, actually, your daughter hurt my daughter's feelings, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Your daughter's the worst one here. She's the one at fault.
Yeah.
Not mine. Mine hasn't done shit. She's left out.
Yeah. Once again, speaking to his genuine care for his family.
That might just have been like a dad wanting to point out to his daughter, like, you know, this is how much I care for you. As in M. Night. Wanting to point out to his daughter. What's her name? Salika?
Salika is the one who wrote the songs and plays Lady Raven, right?
Yeah, that's his daughter.
And what was the daughter whom he made a director?
Salika, isn't it?
No, it's not the same. He has two daughters.
Oh, it's another daughter? I thought it was the same daughter.
No. Oh yeah, she's a writer, director, pop star, and actress. No.
She wrote for Old. She wrote for Servant TV show.
Yeah, but the other daughter.
She was additional crew in Signs. I don't know what she did, but
I'm sure she hung out on the set because she wouldn't have been old back then. No, the other daughter is Ishana Shyamalan.
Oh right, Ishana.
Who wrote and directed The Watchers.
By the way, you missed that little Easter egg, but the Watchers poster in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, this has really been the summer of nepotism for the Shyamalan family.
Yeah, because that also, we need to mention this. Salika is an actress and composer. She's singer-songwriter. This half of this movie feels like him going, you want a platform to sing? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll make a movie for you. It felt... I don't know. It felt like he was like just trying to give her a moment to shine because he gave his other daughter a movie to direct, which is what she wants to do, obviously.
Yeah.
So he went, what do you like? Music. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, and I mean that's part of it. He said that his daughter Sarika wanted, like, she wants to become an artist. She wants
to become the next Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Based on her outfits and songs.
yeah. And he basically made this movie for her to put her songs in. And I mean, there's a lot of like, just her music is constantly playing in the background, and there's lots of scenes where they're just watching the music without it ever feeling like they're just padding. Because there's always cutting back to him,
there's always
watching around, trying to figure out. But then
it's not just a music video.
No, yeah, exactly. But there is a bit of the shooting the rodeo thing there, but it's fine because I think they do it with class and with style. Sure. But yeah, so he basically wrote...
It's the end though where he makes her the hero.
That's a little much, maybe.
That's pushing it.
Yeah. No, but so he basically wrote this movie for her to show her music in, but just like, and that's where I think this is kind of a meta commentary on fatherhood. The lengths you go to appease your, especially daughters, I guess.
Yes.
It's a bit easier to appease your sons.
In this case, daughters, specifically.
The movie is... he literally makes a movie for her.
For her to showcase her talent so everyone can see.
But at the same time, it doesn't feel like we said, it doesn't feel like slapped together. It's a quality film. Like, it's a proper movie. And
he just he got the idea of like, okay, so my daughter wants to make a show, she wants to sing and perform, let's have a concert in a film.
Yeah, what can
how do I
do
make that
with
exciting?
Yeah, exactly.
Throw in a serial killer.
Serial killer's there, and the cops are trying to catch him. That's almost...
Here we go.
It's almost like a reverse Die Hard, where there's one lone cop, against the 12 terrorists, but here it's one lone serial killer against 300 cops.
Yeah. And instead of an empty building, they're in a smackful arena.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's a small venue, though. Yeah. 30,000 isn't a lot.
30,000. That's not even smaller than our arenas here in Sweden, and we have pretty small arenas.
Yeah,
but we have 50,000 seaters, I think.
Taylor Swift broke records with 65,000 people in our biggest arena in Stockholm.
Exactly. But anyway, so yeah, the whole thing about this actually being about, the struggles of fatherhood, there's something to that, definitely.
Sure, definitely.
Just baked into this, like, pitch black serial killer comedy.
With the sprinkle of sons have it harder, I guess, because he's become who he is because of his mother's how she treated him when he was growing up.
Yeah, being very, like, very, very protective is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Protective
to the point where it's like
dismissive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And him feeling like he's not in control, she's controlling his life, so he takes control by capturing people and slowly kill them and then cut them up in little pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they manage to, even if it's a little clumsy, where all of a sudden Lady Raven turns into an armchair psychologist and immediately understands how to talk to him to, like, make him kind of transfixed.
They mention why she could do that as well, to be honest, because they do have the briefing, so she's just copying what the profiler would say, because the profiler says the exact same thing.
That's true.
At the end.
Sure.
Only difference is the profiler fits physically more the form of his mother, and he's in a more of a vulnerable state by then, obviously. So it works better. When Lady Raven tries doing it, she's like barely 20-year-old kid, like no. And he's in power at that moment, so it doesn't work like that.
But that was also another point of, like, great performance from Josh Hartnett, because when they start that conversation in the car, he's like, "Listen, Raven, I know what you're doing, but I'm in control here." And she keeps going, and he's like, almost like at first, like, humoring her, like, "Sure, Mom, it's because of this and this." But the more they keep going, he's like, it
looks like he's breaking a little bit.
His veil of, like, I know what you're doing is completely removed. And at the end, he's just talking to his mom. Yeah. And that's when he realized, like, shit, she was stalling. And when I opened the door, there's the cops.
Yeah.
Fuck. And they capture him.
Yes.
Until they don't.
Also, though, a clever point that I need to point out is the use of social media and all that stuff. Because I noticed you reacted to her like, how did she go live that quick? She was using her own phone by then.
Okay.
She had 3 phones.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't really point it out properly, but, like,
it felt like she was using his phone to go live on her Instagram. It's like, what?
But she didn't. She was using her phone.
Okay, fair enough.
She wasn't even using Riley's phone. She was using her phone. Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked at all.
No, exactly.
However, how did she manage to unlock his phone to watch the video cam?
That was bad, because we saw him enter a code several times.
Sure,
but she just had to,
when she does it, it's like she scanned her thumbprint or something.
Yeah, like it was already, maybe it was already unlocked, but that would be stupid. Why would he leave his phone unlocked? Once again, this guy...
Because they were taking a picture with it.
Yeah, that's true.
But how did she open it to take the picture? You can take pictures without unlocking it. Yeah, and that app had a separate lock.
Exactly, the app had its own password. That was weird.
That was a little bit weird. Yeah, whatever. But I did like the use of social media, like quickly going like, okay, so this is serious, guys. Even though I don't think a lot of people would actually think it's serious.
No, they would like be, is this a weird ARG or is this a prank?
Yeah, like what the hell? Most people wouldn't even go like, oh yeah, I know Blue Door. Oh, I know a lion, broken lion. They would go like, yeah, sure. How was the show? I loved it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have taken her like 1 minute, it feels like.
Say you love me or whatever they do.
Yeah.
God.
But it's also,
I've seen too many live streams now. It's terrible what people write in comments on live streams. I hate it. I can't watch them.
Yeah, no. But that's also for convenience, because,
yes,
the movie had to move on. She couldn't spend 15 minutes trying like, no, listen,
convince
it's serious. Go to the place if you know what I'm talking about. There's a guy captured in there. Get him out. Call the police. Like, no, you would have to fucking move along.
Yeah. Weirdly though, I think that what was the character's name? Cooper. Cooper took too long to actually break down the door. Like he would have.
Yeah.
He got his family up kind of quickly, but then he still hesitated to actually break down the door.
Does he actually?
Even though he heard her
talking. Open the door?
No, she opens it.
Yeah. No, but I think once again that's the whole thing with him not wanting to like.
Maybe he doesn't want to destroy things.
Yeah, get out of control. He wants to stay in control and breaking down his door. So that's breaking part of his house and breaking part of himself. I don't think he wants to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
Yeah,
an explanation
that could be,
for it. I
that could be a
suppose,
thing. Yeah.
And he knows she can't escape anyway, so he'll just wait for her to open.
There is a window though, and they're on the ground floor. I was like, why did she not just go out the window? Maybe it didn't open. Maybe it was painted shut or something.
Yeah, or maybe it's just one of those that doesn't open.
Yeah.
So he would just.
But that was just.
Yeah, I know it was a little weird. He didn't kick the door in.
Yeah, that moment felt a little like just do it. Like, at this point, you're desperate because she obviously has your phone. She has her own phone. She has Riley's phone.
Yeah.
How did she not, like, even if she could have called the cops right then and there, just waited.
She should have called the cops as well, but instead she texted her chauffeur to call the cops.
Yeah, went live.
Yeah.
And she told the dude through the camera system that I'm gonna get help. I'm gonna try and save you.
Yeah.
I mean, she does. She succeeds, which is fantastic. It just felt a little too savior.
Yeah.
It would have been better if she just called the cops. I guess, I mean, she didn't know. She couldn't save him without the help of her audience. Because she didn't know exactly where that was. Yeah. And maybe he would have died eventually anyways. So she prioritized. But it's a weird thing to consider. Because she's not supposed to be, like, an adult. She's like 20-something. Barely.
Yeah. No, but I guess, when
also, I mean, she's been briefed, so maybe...
Yeah, when the situation calls for it. And obviously after... I think she becomes more involved. First of all, when, she becomes... involved when he uses her as a fucking meat shield, basically. Well, or I guess like to stealth his way out of there. Yeah. And makes her involved in saying, like, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill this guy.
And the whole giving her his name to, like, make it personal.
Yeah, I think she feels more responsible then, but also after kind of seeing, like, what a wonderful family this is that this sicko is hiding beneath. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she kind of feels it upon herself that she has to stop him.
I guess, yeah.
Which I think is, it feels a little unrealistic, but what it also is in terms of movies, it's a wonderful way to, without any finger wagging or stupid, on the nose fucking isms and shit, to really make a strong, independent, and believable female hero.
That's true.
Without going like, oh, I'm a strong woman, you're a man.
Yeah, there was no pointing that out. No.
But she just, when the situation called for it, she stepped up.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe a little bit unbelievable, but I mean the whole movie is a little bit unbelievable.
Yes.
So that was fine. I mean,
maybe it's because she just looks so young and small in comparison that I couldn't take her as an adult. it felt like a teenager trying to, like.
Well, that's just because, I mean, you've turned 30, so at this point, anyone who's like under 25 looks like a kid to you now. I feel the same way. I think people who are like the mid-20s are like children to me now.
I need to check. How old is Salika?
I think she's like 20.
96.
Yeah, 96. So
she's 2 years younger than me.
She's 28. Yeah.
She doesn't look it though. No, she looks like a 16-year-old.
She has very good genes. She looks very young.
Yeah, and she's very short.
Yes, which
compared
also
to Josh Hartnett.
Hartnett, yeah.
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 Which didn't help. It played up the whole him being superior, obviously.
Yeah.
But he was taller than most people in that entire movie. So
yeah, he stood out in a good way.
He's pretty tall.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah, I think they do really, like I said, well written into the story, well written female protagonist like that.
Sure.
Even though she kind of shows up in the last act of the movie, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like I said, this is kind of like I'm overanalyzing for fun, but when she turns up at the safe house or whatever to talk to the victim, she literally has a cape on. I'm just saying, because she has one of those like panic blankets.
Oh,
That the
wait, she
cops-
did?
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
No, the guy who they saved she had her cardigan open though, which
That's
kind of
true.
maybe moved in the wind.
Yeah, she looks like a superhero with that thing on. Yeah.
That could be true,
That's me over and like. I mean, I might have even made it up. So, but that was the feeling you got. Like she fucking did it. She saved him by the power
I'm
of
quickly
social
scrolling
media.
through the video, the pictures from on IMDb, but like the only thing I can notice is she has the cardigan and it's open and slightly long, so it could look like a bit of a cape.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But she also she gets there and she's like. She's the one who's being like greeted by people. She's being greeted by the fans who alerted the cops and went to the safe house. And she goes up to the victim like, "Oh, I saved you. Here you go."
Yeah.
Just felt a little bit.
But she also
performance.
does hug the fan who said, "I live right across the street from that door."
Yeah, sure.
So she's being fair, but yeah, I mean. She orchestrated the whole thing. That's why he is thankful to her. I'm sure he hugged her as well, the fan. I'm sure we just didn't.
Oh
see
yeah,
it.
all of them hugged her.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know. I just felt a little bit. Yeah,
it wasn't
too good to be true.
Yeah, it wasn't 100% believable.
No.
But like I said, the whole movie kind of felt, it was very. I think it's called hyper real, where it's like it's real, but
it's hyper realistic.
It's too much almost, even though it's real.
It's a little bit.
Yeah,
it's a little bit too realistic.
Yeah, but I was. If you just
hyper-realism, is that a thing? Yeah.
Yes, hyper-realism. I think that's what you call it, yeah. And if you just accept that, then the whole movie makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
true.
And they get their
totally.
point across, which I think is the
Definitely.
most important thing. Which is also...
ultimately, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
We kept sitting there going like, oh, maybe he isn't the killer. Maybe that's the twist.
Yeah,
not that I was looking for a twist. Like I didn't have that in the back of my mind even, that like, oh, he always has a twist. No, I never think of that until you mention it.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. But I kept going like, most movies do have a twist of some sort. So maybe he isn't. Maybe he's just like a undercover cop or whatever.
Yeah. No.
Maybe the artist is the killer. Maybe, I don't know, one of the backstage people is the killer. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm glad that there wasn't a big twist like that.
No, you didn't need it.
No, exactly, and that would have then it would have felt cheap. Like, oh, the whole thing was just. It's kind of like when the movie ends with the protagonist waking up, like, oh, that was just a dream. Thank God.
Yeah.
No, that's cheap.
That's a cop out.
That's a cop out. This didn't have a cop out.
No,
it didn't have a twist cop out, which was good, because a good twist is hard to do, which I think is why so many people went like, oh my God, when he did it basically twice in 2 movies.
Yeah.
And early in his career, when he actually pulled off a great twist. And then they were kind of looking for twists in his other movies, and even if they didn't really have any twists, they were like, is this the twist? Is this a twist? And that took away from him as a filmmaker. He became... It became a meme. People were just looking for the twists in his movies.
Instead of actually watching the movie.
Yeah. Which I think, even though he definitely, like I said, he's made some real stinkers.
Sure.
He might be one of the most uneven directors of all time. Like, he's made, like, certified...
I think we've said that, like, 10 times,
I know, but
yeah.
certified classics, like The Sixth Sense and Signs and Unbreakable. But then he's made some of the worst movies, like Lady in the Water and After Earth.
Yeah.
But then, like, to say that he's, like, in his renaissance now is not fair, because this renaissance of his has basically been going on for 10 years.
Yeah, when he
came back,
like every other movie is a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. Because he came back.
Barely.
He came back after Earth and did The Visit, which was like, okay, Hollywood doesn't want to give me $100 million anymore, so I'll make a movie for like $5 million. Have you seen The Visit?
It's a great movie. I didn't know he had made it when I watched it.
And
the twist at the end.
Yeah, it's actually which, once again, I think that's the cheapest part of the movie.
But it's really good though.
Yeah, I guess.
Because you have no clue at all. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with her grandparents?
And then he followed that up, of course, with Split, which is an amazing movie.
Yes.
But then, then he wanted to do his like superhero follow-up to that with what's it called?
Glass.
It's not his worst movie, far from it, but it's
No.
so bad. It's so blah.
It didn't hold up to Split, which was the issue.
No, not at all. But then of course, what did he do after that?
Old.
Was Old the next? Okay.
And then Knock at the Cabin.
But yeah, then he did Knock at the Cabin, which feels like people dismissed a little bit because of Glass and Old. But Knock at the Cabin is great. We've talked about it. I think on a...
I think there was a patron?
Was it a real episode? A real episode.
Free episode?
If it wasn't, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakaescene to see our review of Knock at the Cabin. It's a great movie. And my favorite actor to hate, Dave Bautista, is actually great in it. That's like his best performance. He's so good in it. That whole movie is amazing.
Sorry, I'm like skimming through our little list, but I can't find it.
Okay.
Maybe it was last year?
Then it's probably... Yes, it was last year. It came out last year, so. Anyway. And then this. But I think at this point he has more like good or even great movies than he has bad movies.
Yeah. He's past that point at least.
Yeah. And
it's taken a while.
And I see if anyone noticed that we basically mentioned every one of his movies now except for The Happening. And that is because kind of like this one, that one is bad, but kind of like this one, I feel like it is like intentionally silly. Like you're almost supposed to laugh at it.
He didn't take himself seriously when he did it.
No.
That's the one with the flowers, right?
Yeah, when the trees kill you with pollen.
I haven't actually seen it, but I've heard enough to like know what it's about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch flowers spread dust to kill people. Sounds weird. I don't have time to watch that.
It is such a weird movie. And it doesn't work. That's the thing. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that make that movie not work. But
even within movie magic kind of premise.
Yeah, no, stuff like the writing and our two lead actors are just terrible together. Mark Wahlberg and Zooey Deschanel.
Right, yeah.
Zero chemistry.
They're supposed to be a couple, right?
Yes.
Like married even.
They're like, but it's on the rocks. Like, you know.
Right.
But the thing is, like, Mark Wahlberg is so wrong for that role. And Zooey Deschanel, she's very like, you know, she's kind of passive in real life, or at least as a person we see. And she plays an even more passive character in this movie. So she's like a ghost. She just doesn't exist. Oh. It's terrible.
See, I always associate both of them with more of a comedic kind of movie.
Yeah.
Which then doesn't
really work, because the premise is very serious, but it feels like they're not always taking it seriously. That's where that tone doesn't work in that movie. Where it does work is in Trap, because it is a serious, obviously serious movie, but it is laugh out loud funny several times. Like I laughed more at this than like comedies nowadays. It definitely passed the Mark Kermode test, 6 laughs in 90 minutes. I think I laughed 6 times in the first 15 minutes. No, first half hour.
30.
Yeah.
It surprisingly though has a very low Metascore. It's at 50.
I understand. Like
53.
Yeah, I understand why. I definitely understand why. Because it is a weird tone, and unless you're on board with the whole hyper-realism, it's gonna feel like, there's a bunch of plot holes. It feels like they're, cutting corners and stuff like that. So I get it. It is definitely not for... But I'm not gonna say like, oh, you just don't understand the movie. It's just not a movie that fits everyone.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm not going to say like, well, how about you learn some media literacy and then you'll understand the hidden genius of Trap. No! It's a silly movie.
Yeah.
But if you're on board with it, it's a lot of fun. And that's why I can't say this is like a true masterpiece. Because it is, it's kind of shoddy writing here and there. A lot of leaps of faith. There are some plot holes. The ending is ridiculous. How he's surrounded by cops. He's in handcuffs. They're literally pointing guns at him from every angle, and he still manages to oh, sorry, oh, I'm a perfectionist. I need to put this bike where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's another thing where I'm saying the cops are kind of incompetent.
Yeah, I know.
Why would they allow that? At this point specifically, you've captured him. Do not allow this obviously clever serial killer to do anything but get in the fucking car.
Yeah.
Why would you...
In universe, though, I get it, because he has, other than escaped several times in the day, he does comply with the cops. He's not trying to fuck you, I'm never...
No, that's true.
You're never gonna catch me, come get me, motherfucker, and start shooting. He's just, fine, you got me. But hey, let me at least...
That's after he hugs his daughter, right?
Yes. The daughter
so
comes
they're
running
also
towards...
Yeah.
Okay, shit. He is actually a good dad. Which...
Exactly.
Without him... I mean... There, it's almost I'm not sure if he's actually, using his family or not. Because his daughter... unconditionally, even after finding out he's a serial killer, runs up to him and hugs him and says, I don't want to let you go. I'm so...
Yeah.
And doesn't question him as a father. He uses that goodwill to be able to get the spoke out of the wheel and put it up his shirt sleeve.
That's true.
And I'm like, fuck. So is the family just a cover-up then? And is this is he playing 6D chess here? Not just
I think by that point, he might have been using that. He saw an opportunity and used it.
Yeah, but what if she hadn't shown up when they brought him out?
Then he would have been screwed.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
That is also fuck up by the cops a little bit. Why bring the kids back before you brought him away? Yeah. Took him away. Bit of a fuck up, but whatever. Yeah, but... That happens all the time in movies and TV shows,
Yeah.
You need attention.
Yeah, exactly. It's movie magic timing. They show up at the same time. What are the odds? Well, it's a movie, so of course it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he managed to remove a spoke from the wheel of the bike without anyone noticing.
I looked at the ventile, the thing for the air.
Yeah, where
the tire.
Yeah.
I thought he pulled something from that first.
Yeah, because I didn't... When they felt like they were focusing on the...
I didn't realize that you were missing a spoke.
Yeah. But I realized when they pulled it out, I was like, oh, that's what they were showing.
Yeah, it's way too long.
Yeah.
To be the little cap thing.
And then, he lockpicks his way out of his handcuffs and just goes... It's almost and he laughs I can't believe that worked.
Yeah.
And that's where the movie ends.
I'm a bit curious, though. How is he gonna what did he do after that?
Well, when they open, he'll go full psycho mode and just beat them up or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is,
punch his way through.
At this point, it's almost, once again, I guess I'm overanalyzing a little bit. It's almost like he's laughing at the movie, I can't believe I got away with all of this. It's almost like looking into camera. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
I thought that was so clever.
I need to know though. The other time he escapes in the limousine,
that one is a little...
How and when does he get out?
Yeah. Because all the fans are looking into the car. They should have said, what are you doing in there? Did you capture Lady Raven?
Half of them are on the side of where she is and walking out of it, sure. But there are a bunch who are standing on the driver's side at the front of the car.
But he could have moved to the passenger seat, and since they were looking into the back of the car, maybe he could just kind of slip out.
That's true. I wonder if we can see that, if we rewatch that scene.
Maybe.
Because they do have a shot of it from outside, and I think it's after that the cops arrive and we realize, oh shit, he's not in the car anymore.
Maybe. And a way...
That would be a nice detail if they put that in there, that you can see him just get out of the car, but it's something we don't realize because we're busy looking at everything else that's happening.
Yeah. Just like everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a nice detail.
Maybe. I guess
now I kind of want to rewatch it.
Calls for a rewatch.
Just for that.
Yeah.
It's also, to be fair, even though it's tagged as a horror film, it's not scary like that.
Not scary at all. I see what they mean.
I wouldn't tag it as a horror.
No, I would say it's a thriller. Almost thriller comedy. But I wouldn't put that as a genre, but it's a very funny movie.
On IMDb, they've tagged it with psychological thriller, serial killer, which is sure, crime, horror, mystery, thriller.
Oh, so no comedy.
You could have no comedy, and you could have just remove horror and crime, really. Mystery as well, to be honest.
Yeah, there's no mystery. We know who the killer is.
It's a serial killer, sure, because it's a serial killer. whatever. But it's a psychological comedy thriller, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, I don't...
Psychological is a little bit pushing it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would just go thriller.
Yeah, comedy.
But I don't
comedy.
know if I want to put comedy in there, even though I laughed, because comedy thriller makes it sound like it's... I mean, it is in... That's a question, though. Did you laugh at it?
Oh, yeah, I laughed.
Okay. But did you laugh?
Even I laughed.
I was laughing.
I laughed.
No,
I laughed at the movie.
It felt like I was laughing very loud.
Oh, sometimes you were.
Okay.
But I didn't actually care.
But was anyone else
because
laughing?
other people were, yes.
They were. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm just weird, and it's not supposed to be funny.
I think both you and I were a little bit quicker at laughing at some points.
Okay.
But that might be because I read the subtitles ahead of what they're saying.
Oh, okay. I try to...
When we have subtitles, which is why I try to avoid it when I'm watching a movie on my own, but in theaters I can't.
Yeah.
It's habit.
Sure. Yeah. No. Yeah.
So I read what they're saying before I actually hear it, so I can I have the context before it's happening.
Yeah.
So then I laugh at the subtitles before I laugh at it actually happening.
Yeah.
Which is a bit stupid in my opinion, but I can't. Like I said, it's habitual. I can't stop it.
Yeah.
So I think you might have understood the English quicker than some of the people in the audience.
Maybe.
Because we laughed ahead of other people, but then I did hear other people laughing as well, eventually.
Because I haven't... Maybe I've just missed it, but I didn't really read anyone else saying, like, oh my god, it's so hilarious. Maybe there were some reviews. I don't know. I didn't really look into it that much.
I just scrolled through the top ones on IMDb, and they're all like, I was waiting for the twist, or it's not as good as I thought it would be.
That's almost every one of his movies nowadays, though, because I don't think he's ever going to get back to the highs of The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs. No,
there's one.
I'm not saying that to be mean to him or anything, but he started out off his career technically before that, but you know what I mean. He started off so strong that I think it's going to be hard for him to get back to that point.
It's dumb to start at the top.
Yes.
There is one review on Letterboxd that is like, honestly, apart from the murder stuff, Trap makes being a serial killer seem pretty fun, which might be a comment on the movie actually being a little bit funny.
Yeah. Oh, and that's something, because I think we're going to round this off now, but that's something we need to discuss. A couple of things, because that was a big discussion on Twitter. I decided not to call it X. I've gone back to Twitter. Sorry, Elon. I'm going to call it Twitter.
If he ever hears it,
and we know you're listening, Elon. It's Twitter, okay? Just accept it.
You're allowed to call it. If you call us out, we'll.
If you come on the show, we'll stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a clip. Yeah. Okay. No.
Hey, if this was a comedy, I would have given it 4 stars. Also, who the fuck leaves their seat at a concert this many times?
Someone who's trying to escape, or someone who doesn't like the music.
Yeah. Or it's just there as support,
Yeah, exactly.
But if this was a comedy, I would have given it 4 stars.
But it wasn't
like more an actual comedy,
I know
like
what you mean.
purely comedy. I think because they gave it 2.5. That's a bit low.
Yeah, but
you were getting it.
Yes. A couple of things.
Yes.
And we'll do the other one first. I don't know, whatever.
Go ahead.
One is it kind of leads into the other one. So we'll start with a lot of people pointing out that the cinematographer for this movie was someone that people were like talking about. I don't know if that was like here. I think he's like Thai. I think Sayhombu Muktiprom. Yeah, Thailand, exactly. People were like, "Oh my god, it's him!" And I didn't really recognize his name, but now looking at it, yeah, he done a lot of good movies. A lot of like big prestige movies, like Call Me by Your Name, the Suspiria remake, 13 Lives. No, wait.
Oh yeah, that I still haven't finished.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that
Challengers.
Oh, right. That was people talking about his his 2024 is his year. Yeah, exactly. Challengers was really good. Have you seen Challengers?
Yeah, I didn't see the last. I think like 10 or 15 minutes because where I watched it just fucked up and I couldn't finish it.
Okay, yeah. And he's done like a couple of years ago. He made the movie Memoria, which was very talked about when it came to stuff like that. Also because of the director. And I think the cinematography, we talked about it a little bit in the beginning, is fucking great. Especially the way it uses close-ups and how Not just, but it definitely emphasizes, making the screen feel smaller the more trapped he feels. We move closer and closer into his face until, we move outside of the arena when it starts to move back again.
Because he's got space to breathe.
Which is
now.
literally making the movie feel claustrophobic. I've only seen once before, and it was in a Korean movie called Tunnel from 2016. Maybe I wonder if he did the cinematography for that as well. Which is it's a Korean disaster movie where a tunnel that goes through a mountain collapses and a bunch of people get stuck in it.
Are stuck in there.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for disaster movies, so I went and saw that. Because they actually showed it at Stockholm Film Festival back in 2016. I actually got to check if it was him. No, it was a Korean guy, Kim Tae-sung. Anyway, that movie also, the more and more, enclosed the spaces he got into, because he's trying to get out, but, it gets smaller and smaller. The camera literally moves into him to the point where it starts moving with him as he's breathing. It's insane how claustrophobic that movie is. But anyway, sorry. So, whatever his name was, did the cinematography for this. Great cinematography. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if he was always the DP cinematographer for the other Shyamalan movies, but I know especially early on in his career, he used a Japanese cinematographer called Tak Fujimoto, who's also a fucking artist with the camera. And it feels like he kind of created this style that Shyamalan kept using, these kind of static images, a lot of not close-ups, I don't know what you call it.
Landscape shots?
Like two shots of, two shots of two people standing in a room talking, and then cutting to very, very almost portrait-esque shots of people looking straight into the camera as if they're talking, but they're talking to the person behind the camera. There's a lot of that in The Sixth Sense, and it was something he kind of brought back for Split. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of close-ups of people in Split, especially Anna Taylor-Joy.
Tak Fujimoto was a cinematographer for Devil as well, which I think
once again
is why it feels a lot like an M. Night movie, even though he's not directing it.
I mean, you literally thought it was for years.
I still keep thinking that sometimes.
He actually directed it, but Split used Mike Joulakis.
I was about to say, he did not do Split, though. He did The Happening.
Yeah, I think that kind of era...
Signs
that kind of,
and Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that era, the first era of Shyamalan movies were Tak Fujimoto, and then he kind of changed it up. But he created a cinematic language that, together with Shyamalan's directing, kind of stuck. And this felt very different, even though they used a bunch of close-ups, especially the shots where he's talking to the merch guy who's explaining this whole concert is a trap.
Oh yeah.
That was very Shyamalan-esque, the way you're talking to the camera back and forth. So I like that. Yeah, they used. You could feel that it was a Shyamalan movie on the cinematography and the directing, but it also felt very different with the big shots of the arena. Now, leading into that is the dialogue. A lot of people had problems with the dialogue that felt very, stilted, unhuman, nobody actually talks like this. And...
Yes, to a certain degree, but I think there might be a reason for it.
Okay.
Because, first of all, the conversations between dad and daughter, Cooper and Riley...
Yeah.
Is not stilted, really.
No.
It's a little bit, a dad being a little bit awkward.
Yeah, and towards the middle of the movie. Yeah, and towards the middle of the movie when he's getting desperate.
I'm thinking in the beginning. That's what dads are with their teenage daughters, though. Our dad could never speak normally to me when I was a teenager, for Christ's sake. He was the most embarrassing person in the world, but my friends loved him. I didn't get it.
That's how teenagers feel also, yeah.
Exactly. That's how teenagers feel towards their dads specifically.
Yeah.
Which I think this captured perfectly.
Well, I felt that way against our mom. I think that's a gender thing.
Yeah, that might be
You're so embarrassing! Shut up, Mom!
Exactly, yeah. And I think that was perfect.
Yes.
No comment on that. And then everyone else who's working are all unconsciously, they're aware of it, and it's always in the back of their mind that somewhere in this arena is the butcher, the serial killer that everyone's chasing.
Yeah.
It's a tense event, but they're all trying to hide it because the audience doesn't know.
Yeah.
So that's why they are all feeling a little bit awkward. Because
Yeah.
they're not trained for this. They've just been told like a day before, even the same day maybe.
Yeah, today you're going to help us
That
catch a serial
FYI,
killer.
we're going to have 300 cops, which is, first of all, everyone gets tense when cops with weapons start running around,
Yeah.
especially when there's more than like 2.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you've done anything bad in your entire life or not.
No.
You're going to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
On top of that, you are aware of a murderer running around within the premises. And you've been told that you need to look out for certain signs and you need to flag us and you need to think about all these stuff apart from your job and already being like, you know, it's 30,000 people and you're partially responsible as a person who works there. So of course they're going to be a little bit stilted and awkward when they talk to people.
Yeah.
Because they're up here.
And
then you have Dad getting more and more uncomfortable with the situation because he realizes that shit, I am trapped. So of course he gets more stilted and awkward with how he talks to himself and to people and to his daughter.
Yeah. And
it's all normal.
And also
they should be weird, awkward, and stilted.
Yeah. And also
if they were all casual, it would have been weirder.
And it's also a psychopath trying to act normal.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's also the thing that I think, I know some people pointed it out, but I just want to mention it because that was the first thing I thought when I saw. Especially there was one review that was like, "You idiot!" And this is from a guy who should know movies because he has a movie review channel, Carsten Runquist. He was the one. I think that's the one also that people were referring to a lot.
Working off of.
Yeah, he gave it 4 out of 5. So I guess he liked the movie still, but he said like this: you got to wonder if M. Night Shyamalan has ever had a conversation with a human being because of the dialogue. But then you just like his dialogue though, like all the things you mentioned, but also his dialogue has always been stilted, just like his very kind of locked off shots, all the weird staring into the camera, all the close-ups of the faces. It's always been part of his style of directing to have kind of awkward conversations between people, because
isn't that what he writes as well?
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. It's part of his style.
Yeah, he likes it when people are awkward. That's how he's good at portraying them. Because every single movie that I'm just thinking now, they're always in a situation where you would feel a little bit awkward.
Yeah, like in the Sixth Sense, the marriage is failing. They're having a hard time communicating. The movie is literally about learning to like understand your loved ones. If it's your husband or your wife or your son or your mother. Like, sure, it's a ghost story, but that's what it's about. I mean, he literally figures out that if I just listen to the ghosts, they'll leave me alone. Yeah, some are bad, but most of them just want help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the movie is about, awkward conversations trying to figure out things. Yeah.
Yeah. Signs. You come from the mother has just died, right?
Yeah, a year,
which is making everything tense in the entire family.
Yeah, and
then on top of that, you have weird fucking aliens.
Yeah, and it's also about this pillar of the community, Father.
Oh yeah,
whatever his name is. He was the priest that everyone looked up to. He was like he was the father
guy
to everyone, not just his children, but now he completely rejects that. I mean, in the end, he literally says, "I hate you" when he speaks to God. So it is, a rift has grown, not just between him and the community, between him and his children, which is why they have a tough time talking to him. And his brother, which has kind of been a fuck up, probably hasn't been part of the family for a long time, has just moved back in to kind of help. Of course it's going to be awkward. Yeah. Everyone is on edge around him because it feels like he hasn't really moved on and they're worried he's going to like melt down. And in the middle of this, you have fucking aliens. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
same with the Visit, if we're being on, like...
Yeah, they're like, I don't know how to talk to you.
The kids haven't... That's the thing. The kids haven't met their grandparents in forever.
Yeah, because...
And all of a sudden, they're shipped off to be with them alone, without their parents.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to be awkward.
And then it turns out they're
not their
insane. Yeah,
grandparents.
exactly.
Someone else has been taking over their house.
So of course it'll be
it's
awkward.
weird.
Yeah, like this is a thing in his movies.
Yeah. He doesn't write like normal slice of life movies where people are just comfortable, happy, and in love. No.
That's not his thing.
This is not a romantic comedy.
But
They're all thrillers in a sense. They're all tense somehow.
But that's also when he's like trying to do like regular like action adventure movies like After Earth or the first
Last
Avatar
Airbender.
movie. Yeah, The Last Airbender. It feels unnatural because that's when they should have like
That's
normal
where you should have
conversations.
the happy, relaxed. Even though I gotta say, After Earth, I don't remember that movie particularly, but I remember the scenario.
It's true. Yeah, they're trying to be.
It should be a little bit stiff
It should be
there as
because
well.
they're trying to not have emotions, at least not the ghost, as
Yeah.
they call him. Yeah, because that's his thing. Sure,
and
that's
they're
true.
like there for work. They're supposed to focus.
That's true. That's
Last
true.
Airbender though is fucked.
Yeah, yeah.
but that's just because he ruined a great source material.
Yeah, and to this day, I've seen one scene of that movie, and it was so bad, I just like, nah, I'm never gonna watch this. Fuck this movie.
No, you don't need to even try.
No. So yeah, I think anyone complaining that his dialogue is stilted, I'm like, that's where I'll say, well, you should read up on Shyamalan movies, because that's
You
like,
should watch the rest of his movies and actually think about what they're about.
how's your media literacy, bro? That's where I'll pull that card, because like his dialogue is.
If he
always
ever
been this way.
tries to do like a romantic comedy and it sounds the same,
so
fuck him up.
hard. It's gonna be
Go
so
for it. I don't care. But he's never gonna do that because he knows that's not his thing. That's not his forte.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's. I think that's it. I got everything off my chest.
I had one gripe, but that's just me hating a certain thing in life in general.
Oh.
The way he managed to get Riley to be the dream girl, I fucking hate sob stories.
Yeah, when he lied about, she just got over leukemia, but she doesn't want to talk
you,
about it,
dude.
so don't mention it.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
nope. That's the cheapest.
liar.
First of all, I think it's cheap even if it's true.
Yeah.
You should not use your
Yeah, especially if you got over
called,
it. If you're like, she's gonna die in 6 months, then give it to her.
That's one thing. But like I'm referring to like, reality TV or like American Idol and shit, where they're like, I lost my parents 2 years ago, and now I deserve to win American Idol. No, fuck you.
Yeah, it's
I hate sob stories.
yeah.
Unless they're like, current.
It's a shortcut to emotions.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Don't.
gotta-
That's bullshit.
you
You're
gotta
not
work for it.
talented just because you have a sob story.
No pain, no gain.
Be talented
bitch.
instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was the only one though. That was it.
But I mean, it worked, and that was why he did it, because he knew it was gonna
And it's
work.
fake.
He
Yeah.
was playing with people, because he's a psychopath. He's insane. He's not human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. He's a monster.
Yeah. 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 Literally.
Which they use in the movie.
Yeah.
They call him. He calls himself a monster, or his mother called him a monster or something.
Yeah.
Part of him is a monster or something. Is it?
Yeah. But that's
it.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be it. Thank you so much for listening. If you were listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast, be sure to hit the give us 5 stars on Spotify. Give us, I think it's 5 stars on Apple Podcast as well. But if you're watching this on YouTube, of course, click the like button. Give us your opinion. What do you think of Trap if you've seen it? Do you agree with us? Do you think we're completely stupid? What do you think about the
something?
movie? Yeah, are we missing something? Is our media literacy not good enough? And also, if you did like it though, hit the subscribe button, all that stuff. Check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Check us all the socials at Don't Make a Scene on everything.
The spoiler cast on Instagram.
Oh, sorry,
I
the
think.
spoiler cast. Sorry.
Links are everywhere.
Links are everywhere, exactly. Down in the comments below and on Linktree and everything. And we'll see you. We'll see you next week for. Did we know what we're gonna watch?
We have 2 movies, so we'll see which one we do.
Which are they?
Alien Romulus and Maxine.
I think we're gonna pick Alien Romulus because Maxine. I still want to watch Maxine, but I think it's been
You know how we
played out.
talked about maybe our Patreon episodes won't be companion pieces anymore? Maybe there'll be movies that we want to watch
That
more?
could be it.
Maxine could be that.
Although the companion piece of this, that will be a companion piece.
Oh, yeah.
Because I told you gotta watch Snake Eyes,
Right.
which is a very similar movie to this. And once again, Man Carrying Thing kind of put in my head yeah, that's right. He mentioned that it was very, very Brian De Palma-esque. So,
Yeah.
and then specifically Snake Eyes. So we are going to talk about Snake Eyes.
Sure.
on Monday. When this comes out on Saturday, that's gonna be on Monday. But once again, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakescene for that. But that's it. Once again, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. But until then, have a good one. Bye. The Spoilercast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Christopher Belén, Danny Del Gaiso, Mac and Mom, Laura Kinney, and CK85.